welcome to week number 2 of the Spring Summer Meeting at beautiful Gulfstream Park. And welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti, along with, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's great to be here again, and we still have amazingly beautiful weather here in Florida.
And Abby and I are going to go through cars just a couple of seconds, but we're going to first tell you that it was an exciting week last week, but they did not hit the Rainbow Six. So now we're going to show you our racing menu for today, our exotic wagering menu today. And of course, in race number 1, besides this big carryover, you've seen the rolling super high 5. We have over $6,300 in that pool. A 7-race field start the day off. They're going to bet that. And along with that, in race number 1, we have the early pick 5, which we do each and every day. And then we're following it up with an 8-race card today, and this is very important, the Rainbow Six. Over $434,000 in the pool. That's races 3 through 8 this afternoon. And then we're going to end the day in race number 4 with our final pick 5 of the afternoon. And that's the last 5 races on the card, so 50-cent wagers. So lots of exciting things. As we mentioned at the top of the show, we have a beautiful day here, fast track, firm turf course. And what do you think? You ready to go?
I'm ready to go. This is going to be another great day.
Let's start it off in race number 1, like we do in each and every day. And this one's 6 furlong claimers, fillies, 3-year-olds, $16,000. Do have a scratch in here of number 7, Dancing Cool, and number 8, Scoff. We both have on top of our ticket. This one, the only multiple winner in the field.
Right. And you know, nice percentage there with, 3, 2, and 2 from 9 starts. That jumped right out at me. Yeah,
as I mentioned, the only multiple winner in the field. Dropping to this level today after encountering trouble at the start, fading in the stretch, but that was against $50,000 optional claimers. The trainer is Michelle Nevin, MSCL Jaramillo in the saddle. And what we mentioned about multiple winner in the field, if you read the conditions of this race, it's an open 16 claimer, but a lot of these horses, besides this one, are all struggling to get their second career victory. So we went with the 8 number Scarf on that top. That was the reason I did it. I'm sure that was you. The second horse I want to talk about is the 2 Scotland Bay. This one goes to the George Navarro Bon Vita claim after rallying late to finish 4th behind a really swift horse called Natalie LaRose at this level and distance. Last time out, you know all the stats with Navarro. He's hovering around 30% with the first start after a claim, and he's got apprentice John Cruz, who we mentioned last week, is now a 5-pound apprentice, and he's been riding in great form. He's been doing really well, and this filly I thought had some speed too, which,
actually no, she stalks the pace, and I thought there was some speedsters in here that she might benefit sitting just off of them, kind of in that catbird's seat. She's had over a month off when she was claimed, but and gets it here again. So, that was a little something I noticed, but I thought she fits really well with this crowd.
It looks like she's going to sit a pretty good trip. And Bagima, who's the morning line favorite in here, which was a little shocking to me. I don't know, but this horse to be the morning line favorite goes to the Bernardo Lopez Bon Vita claim, tracked the pace, finished second. That was against $12,500 2 lifetime claimers, going 6 furlongs in the slop. That was in the slop. This horse has 9 races at this distance and only 2 on the board finishes in there. So I just couldn't, commit to this horse on top of my ticket with having only 1 career victory.
Right. I thought she'd settle just off the pace. Edgar Zayas is aboard. That's a good thing. And she's been competitive with these, but I thought she was up against it to try to beat a multiple winner, as we said, like Scoff.
Well, we'll see how that works out in race number 1. We're going to the turf for race number 2. This one, 5 furlongs. These are claimers, fillies and mares, non-winners of 2 races in life. $12,500. A jockey change on the 7, make the rider Raul Mena in here, and I went with the 6, and you went with the 6. We're in agreement again here with our top pick. Patient Digna is dropping a notch on the claiming scale after responding to a turn back from 7.5 furlongs to 5 furlongs. Finished a willing 3rd against $16,000 2 lifetime claimers. Off that performance, I thought this one was the one to beat.
Right, and I always I look for whenever I see that willing comment of finishing up in a race. I really like that. And I think, she's going to go a little bit shorter here, but she's been knocking on the pace door going a little further, so I thought she'd be in that good stalking position. And again, John Cruz aboard, and she's a 4-year-old in here. So kind of noticing that you'll see more now the 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds together.
Right.
And, you need to look at those 4-year-olds. They're sometimes, especially at this time of year,
Right.
maybe a little stouter and stronger.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a teenager against a 21-year-old, if you want to put it in human terms. Number 8, Red Aguirre, who I have in second, you have in third, is another hoping getting some class relief today. After I thought a couple of okay performances at the $16,000 level, in which he was second on March 18th, I believe, and 6, beating 2 lengths as the favorite last time out. It's the third start back from a layoff. That's usually a fruitful performance. So I thought maybe this horse could rebound on and maybe run well. I know you had it on the ticket too, but you went with the number 3, Sweet Forestry, in second, who ran well against better.
Right, yeah, and she's freshened up a little bit with a nice work, a bullet 5/8, and she has some speed. There's a couple of horses in here that I'm not sure who's gonna, Red Aguirre has that outside post, so maybe I still use a little bit of her speed. And I thought this horse in the 3-hole, was going to be in a good spot right there.
Ridden today trained by Kristen Mulhall, who came from California. Has been doing a good job since she arrived in the fall, and Carlos Olivero will be in the saddle. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have race number 3, and that is when the Rainbow Six starts, so we'll be back in just a bit. Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Easy for me to say. Ron and Abby here. And as I mentioned, with an 8-race card, the Rainbow Six starts in race number 3. Going to show you my ticket, $43.20, and it'll pop up in just a moment. And I'm going to go 3 deep in here, 1, 3, and 4. Then you see the progression, 2, 2, and 2. 3 and 3, $43.20. I found this to be a little bit of a formful day. If I had the chance to add a couple more horses and make the ticket bigger, I would if I could. But I wanted to keep it at a level where I might be able to number 1, afford it. So you got to be able to afford the ticket.
Always important.
Well, let's talk. I'll start with the number 3, and that's Wind Lair. This one is dropping to this 12.5 level after breaking from a tough post last time out. That was post 11. Going up, pressing the pace, retreating to finish 8th against $35,000 maidens. At the distance, the trainer's Ronnie Werner. He lightens the impost. He's got apprentice Christian Navarro in the saddle today. So I went with the number 3 horse in here. Just thought that Wind Lair will have a chance in here. But you went to the outside with the number 8 horse in here, and that's Kunagari.
Yeah, that's how you say that. Okay, I wasn't sure how we were going to say that. I'm glad you did that.
Well, I heard Larry say it.
Okay, that's always good. Yeah, I think this horse is back on its favored course. I kind of was looking for a long shot a little bit to kind of surprise in a race like this. I think now this horse has to get good early position from that outer post. That 7.5 distance is a little bit tough, to get over without running into anyone. But I think this horse has shown speed on the grass and definitely bred for the grass. And I thought maybe you fit well with this crowd.
And it's a wide open affair, so I like your reasoning there, maybe go with a long shot in here because there's no real stands out there. You had the 3 horse that I had in top and second.
Right.
I also used the 4 who you have on your ticket, and that's Partagasway. This is another one who's dropping to the bottom on the grass after following a set the pace, caught late, 3rd place finish at the distance against $25,000 maidens. That was back on March 16th. Comes back, chase the pace, it fades again, but against $20,000 types going a mile last time out. Louis Oliveras, I think, finds the perfect spot for this horse against this level of competition, $12,500.
Right. Yeah, she's usually there for a piece of it. And, she has had 12 chances, but has some speed, which could be dangerous in this.
And the morning line favorite in here, who I put on my ticket, Baby Drama, was showing some tactical speed on the turf in the past. Can use that to her advantage when breaking the rail. And if you look at this field, there's not really much in here as far as pace goes.
Right.
So maybe a horse like your 8 on the outside of long shot, if this one can get a position out there. Because I think the race is pretty much devoid of any really speed
Right.
of the speed, as
Yes.
people like to say. So a wide open affair. You saw my Rainbow Six ticket. If you have a chance to go a little deeper, you might want in that leg. We're going to go to race number 4 this afternoon, and this one is 7.5 furlongs on the turf. These are maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds, and upward. Scratching here, a pretty significant scratch of the number 1 Princess of Thieves, because that horse was, to me, the speed of the speed, as we just mentioned.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go back and show you performance, a horse I really like this afternoon, and that's number 9, Scarlet O'Mara. And Scarlet O'Mara was a pretty good performance last time out. This horse turned for home and split horses, which I like to see. I just thought this was a game performance. The horse went on to finish second in that race. I thought it was pretty nice performance. Goes to the wire and just keeps running. Can't get by the winner there. To be perfectly honest, I like this horse more when the number 1 Princess of Thieves was in the race, because I thought there was going to be a little more speed up front.
Yes.
And this horse didn't close there, but I thought it could close today. So number 9, Scarlet O'Mara, is going to have to carve out a better trip. I know you had it on top of your ticket along with me, Scarlet O'Mara, but now she's dynamite. This horse might be the speed of the speed in this race today with the scratch of the 1.
Exactly that. The scratch of the 1 does definitely change the way this race looks, and I had thought, Scarlet O'Mara stalking just off of it, excellent barn and jockey. But number 7, She's Dynamite, who we both have in second. She was much improved on her move to the turf. She's shortening back a little bit here, so that's even better for her speed. And she's going to be, she'll be tough in here to catch, to run down.
Excellent connections with Jane Sibeli and Elvis Trujillo in the saddle. And like we said, the scratch of the 1 in this race, it sort of helps number 7, She's Dynamite. The other horse that has shown speed in the past is the 3, Kiss the Princess.
Yep.
Debuts locally for trainer Ron Ponce. Drops to the $25,000 level. Tracked the pace, got beat a couple lengths, 3 lengths or something against maiden special weight up at Tampa. But one cruise down this horse's past performance, you see there's some speed in there. So maybe if this horse goes up and softens up number 7, She's Dynamite, it'll still set up nicely for our top pick.
Sure. Yeah. Kiss the Princess, she's got 2 seconds at the distance, and with the scratch that she may be, her and She's Dynamite depends. This is where it's interesting what the jocks do. Do they ding dong each other, or do they both go, hey, let's take a little hold here and set a softer pace, and then see who kicks on from there?
Yeah, and I mean, that's why it becomes a sort of a jockey's race when the scratch of that horse, as we mentioned, in there. So just something to be aware of. We're going to go to race number 5 right now. And race number 5 is 6.5 furlong, maiden claiming event for 3-year-olds. $50,000. Scratched the 2. I love the name of this horse, Sniffles LaFleur. Also scratched the number 9, Lefty Cummings. So Sniffles will not be in. Probably got a little bit of a cold. I don't know that for a fact, but I thought I'd throw that out there.
She probably does.
We got our exacta flip-flop. I went with the 8 on top, Midnight Drifter, and this one is dropping to this level after a pair of solid sprints against maiden special weight competition. She was 3rd in her career debut and 8th last time out when she was caught behind fractions that were pretty swift, 22-1, 45-1. That was a 6-furlong sprint, and the final time in that race was 109.3. I just thought that was a faster, better bunch that this horse faced last time out. So I'm thinking Midnight Drifter could come back and run well. You have it on your ticket, but you did go with the number 7, Dangerous Bend, on top.
Yeah, I thought that horse had a really solid effort last time out at this level, and I'm trusting trainer David Fox here. I'm trusting his instinct to go to the dirt and shorten up. They added Lasix and blinkers after the first time out, and then took the blinkers off and dropped down to this level. Not a ton of speed in here. So I thought this horse would fit really well here.
Yeah, I mean, I got it on the ticket, too. I closed it out with the 1, Remarkable Tale, who's dropping to this level today dropping $25,000 on the maiden scale, removing the blinkers after making that middle move and finishing second behind, I thought, a really impressive winner that day, and that was Yellow Chips. That was a $75,000 maiden race, going 7 furlongs. This horse, sort of could be okay in here with the drop of competition, taking the blinkers off, maybe throttling down some of that keen early action this horse has shown. So Remarkable Tale. You also used the 4 horse in here and on the ticket, and easy to write this horse's name down.
tire comes, coming off the turf, and I thought that was probably a needed race, and I was thinking of that turf to dirt angle.
Yeah. So I mean, it looks like the logical two: Midnight Drifter and Dangerous Bend, flip-flopped in there. And those are the two that I had used on my Rainbow Six ticket. So we'll see. Maybe somebody else will jump up and win there, but. Let's go to race number 6 this afternoon. 5 furlongs on the turf. These are maiden special weight, 3-year-olds and upward. And I want to go back, and you had the same horse on top, and that is Letcher. And I want to show you this horse's start at the gate last time out. You see him here. He's the 10 horse, and you just see he'll stay in the gate there, just that extra step or two. And then he's, what we're going to show you when he turns for home, and he comes up, and when he turned for home, he's really parked wide in this race, and he comes into the stretch 5 wide. And, just runs well. You see he's out there. He's not the Forest horse out, but he's second Forest out. And I thought he closed very well, and I think that slow start helped him. You see him, he's coming through the stretch here. And I just thought he was, he finished, it looked like he was finishing up pretty nicely to be 4th in there.
Sure, and at that distance, it's one thing to break a little bit slow going further, but in this kind of race, there's no room for hanging out in the gate, and definitely that off a step slow. You've spotted everyone their start and made him have to have that wide trip. I thought this horse was hard to go past.
Yeah, I mean, he staying in the gate, and it was like a full step, like you said, and then ended up sitting, second last behind the pace. And you saw he had to go 5 wide. That was the only way he can do it. So number 7, Letcher on both of our tickets. Now we're going to go to the 2 Cat Ride, who's making his career turf debut for first start since failing to show much in his 7-furlong career debut on the main track. But we're going to go back and show you a stat from trainer Mark Cassidy, just having a fantastic year here. So Mark Cassidy, over the last 5 years, he's 3 for 9, 33%, 67% in the money with a big ROI of $5.58 with maiden special weight dirt to turf making their 2nd career start. And that's over the past 5 years. So horses that started good and went up and tried the turf and have run well. So off that stat there, I think you got to have the number 2 Cat Ride on your ticket.
Yep, and I do. I agree, and I thought, they gave him a little bit of time to grow up, and he's bred to like this surface and the distance, and, the steady works also from a good barn.
Yeah, well, if you like that barn, I'm going to talk about another horse from that barn, and that's the 8 Land Ho. This one, as I mentioned, from the Mark Cassidy barn, is making his career debut. Series of solid workouts showing on both the main track and the turf up at Palm Meadows. Nick Juarez riding in great form. So you got the, 2 horses from the same barn. One who had a start in the dirt way back, and this one a first-time starter. Hard to gauge, what the plans are with both these horses. I put them both on the ticket, but you also used the 4 horse in here, and tell us why.
I liked his name. No, just kidding. Bam Bam Brown. He's a 5-year-old. He's going to debut with Lasix, and I thought he had solid workouts. Diego Gomez gets a leg up on him, and I just thought this horse would be a little bit of a long shot, and I was giving him a chance in here.
Yeah, he's a bit of a price. He's like 6 to 1 or something like that on the line. So why not use a horse like that on your ticket? Let's go to race number 7 this afternoon, and this is a 6-furlong allowance optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up. The claiming level is $62,500. 6 select runners in this field. And I wanted to go back and show you the performance on this day of Delta Bluesman, who was the 7-horse that day. Going to go back, and we're going to take it over from the top of the stretch home, and you'll see Delta Bluesman making the turn here. What I wanted to mention about this horse as they turn for home, the first quarters in this race, and first quarter and half, were 21-3 and 44 flat.
Yeah.
And this horse just holds on all the way through the stretch, as you'll see here, and runs pretty good. I mean, it just, seems to be a good performance. They went fast early. He was up against it, and the 9-horse, of course, was better that day, but I don't think he faces that level of competition in this spot this afternoon.
That's exactly right. That's what I thought. And he had a nice workout, and he exits just a really, really fast race. It's not going to be that fast or that tough in here, I don't think. Not what I see.
I'm going to go back and show you a stat, too, from this horse from the George Navarro barn. Over the last 5 years, a horse is going from turf to dirt turf to dirt sprints over the past 5 years. Can't speak today. You see the percentages, 30% win percentage, in the money 63% of the time, and all those horses still has a positive return of investment. So that's the number one Delta Blues man. So George Navarro, you know these stats. We like to show them every once in a while, but he does an excellent job with everything. And Delta Blues man looks like the one to beat in there. But I also used the 5 like you did. We're in a lot in agreement today. Abounding Legacy is cutting back to 6 furlongs after returning from about a 3-month layoff to finish a well-meant second against this level of competition going a mile. Ralph Nix, Tyler Gaffleone, hard to leave these guys off your ticket.
That's exactly right as well. They're tough. They've done really well together, and you throw out this horse's Sunshine Millions effort. He's right there all the time. He comes running, and if the 1 and the 4 hook up in any way, then he could benefit from that.
Well, it's good you mentioned it for Mitos y Leyendas. I didn't know what to do with this horse. Given some time off after posting 3 consecutive victories at the recently concluded championship meet. He's definitely a horse for course play. He's had 9 races on this track with 6 wins, a second and a third. He's a hard-knocking campaigner. And if he comes back, like you said, and hooks it up with Delta Blues man, maybe it does set it up for the 5 Abounding Legacy. But would not be shocked if this horse just went on and, he was in good form when he left. He's stepping up, but boy, he likes to win. He
is stepping up, and the reason I had a hard time with him was putting him in third, because he's 7 wins from 14 starts. So when he's running, and I think 1/3, he's like, no, I want to win. So
Fresh and Dangerous today, the final race of the afternoon on our race card. 7.5 furlongs. Claim is 3 and up, $12,500. Scratch the 2, scratch the 3, scratch the 5, and scratch the number 9 in the final race. So we had a little bit of a scratch bug hit us in the last race, but we both ended up with the 1 Silent Admirer. This one moved to the Gustavo Delgado barn via the $16,000 claim, drops to the 12.5 level. It's sort of a lateral move. That's what they're basically writing, here. Cuts back to 7.5 furlongs. He broke from an outside post last time out, tracked the pace, finished 5th. Beaten only a couple lengths, going a mile and an 1/8. Edgar Zayas handling the inside post. Looks like a logical spot for this horse in the finale.
Yeah, they claim this horse off of his owner, breeder, and I am not. Oh, there we are. Yeah, and this. Where am I? I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Well, he claimed it off the owner breeder. We know that.
He did. Yes, he did. I know he did. And this horse just fits well in here. I thought he was really hard to look away from. There was other horses. It was kind of competitive. Now it's a little less. It's a little different with the scratches. It sets up differently, but I still think this horse is tough in here.
Yeah, he looks like the one to beat in there. Number 11, Starship Zorro, moved to the George Navarro barn via the claim. Makes his first start since finishing 5th. Again, $16,000 claim is going a mile. It was on February 20th. The barn, as we mentioned throughout this show and throughout the meet here, the barn excels with horses making their first start off a claim in there. So I threw this one on the ticket, and I see that you have number 6, Pep the Champ, in there. This one's dropping, and things get dicey on the front end. The race sets up nicely for this horse.
Yeah, I thought Pep the Champ deserved a good chance in here. I like Edgar Prado aboard him, and I give him a good chance in here. I think this pace will set up for him a little better.
Yeah, he was 10-1 in the morning line, but you're not going to get that today with the scratches in that last race. So we'll see how things work out. Well, that's how we see the card today. 8 races. The first race starting in about, about 36 minutes or something like that. We got that huge carryover in the Rainbow Six. Over $430,000 starts in race number 3. It's a beautiful day in South Florida. We're going to turn it over to our track announcer, Gabe Pruitt. He's going to give you all the updated scratches that you need to have fun today. And then Abby and I will be back in just a little bit. Good luck.